Today we're going to talk about the best relationship with Krishna. So it's a nice picture here. This is a scene of the devotee being embraced by Krishna. He just returned to the spiritual world. So everybody's welcoming him. Krishna's embracing him. They're bringing some prasadam, and the cows. This is what we're aspiring for, yes?
Yes.
You can have it now too. You don't have to wait until you go back to that. We have Radha Madam Mohan here. They're happy to see us. We'll try to have some discussion about that because this a big period of time now, big festivals are coming up for us, right? So what's the biggest one coming up? Shri Krishna Janmashtami ki. Don't forget about Balaram. Balaram Jayanti ki. And without the mercy of who? Srila Prabhupada. We wouldn't have any of this. Srila Prabhupada ki. That's such a yuga. Everything is, because everyone is so perfect, even everything is abundant. You don't need to farm, you don't need to work, there's no property. Because there's no enviousness, no jealousness. But then the design of the world is that these other qualities become more prevalent until we come to Kali Yuga, the age we're in now. And it's described as what? Age of quarrel, hypocrisy. Therefore, you see everyone's constantly. So you shouldn't feel bad if you experience those things. Kali Yuga. It's supposed to be that way. But we can rise above it. Sadhuna samakitjaitam. Brahma bhuyaya kapate. And rise to the platform of one. That's what everybody wants, isn't it? We want to feel blissful all the time, isn't it? So we make our endeavor that way, so we can be blissful all the time. So without knowledge of Krishna, how do we become blissful? How do we become blissful? I need money. Because if I have money, everybody will be attracted to me. I can have a nice wife, nice husband, so much property, so many things. So money is the key. When you think like that, this Maya is reassuring you. Yes, come on. But as we go older, we realize, I don't think that's the solution. Isn't it? It's not the solution. We gave you an island, the most beautiful island. All the fruit trees, mangoes, bananas, everything you want. These you find, like if you go to the tropical areas, you get the mangoes, papayas, right? I remember I went to preach in West Africa. And we're going to Ghana, which is kind of on the equator. So I'm thinking, it's going to have everything. Grapes, all these things. But it's tropical climate, they didn't have all those things. So, but anyway, you're going to have that place. And on that island, you can have the most beautiful home with everything you want. There's an iPad, Tesla, you name it, it's yours. But you have to be alone. Who would want that? No birds even, nothing. No animals, nothing. You're just by yourself. What does that become? Hell, doesn't it? So that these objects, they're not really giving us the pleasure. It's the relationships. In the 80s, when we were in West Africa, we were expanding Krishna consciousness in that area. So most people, when you think of Krishna consciousness, you think of India, America. There's Krishna consciousness in Africa too. Even in China, where they're restricted so much still, there's devotees there. So in the 80s, there were just this one temple in Lagos, Brahmananda Swami started, and they had a house in Accra, Ghana. And it was very, Africa, at least that time, the country is not very, it's not opulent. You're either very rich or you're poor. But poor means they don't have anything. So most people are like that, just a handful of people that have wealth. But I remember a very simple house. There's no grass, it's just dirt. But the people were happy. They didn't have anything. So the kids would get up in the morning and they'd take these very big barrels on a wagon, some little wagon, and they disappear playing. They come back an hour later, 50 gallons of water. Whose children does that nowadays? Huh? No, my iPad's not working. So, of course, they were blessed because there's no television, all these other things that really make you lament. Oh, look how these people are living so nice. I got nothing. What is this? It was a blessing, actually, in a sense. So America is designed in such a way, no matter how much you have, you don't feel happy. It's not enough. Many of you are coming from India, right? You know the experience. When you get here, you would think it'd be enough, isn't it? No, but still, I need more. Because our false ego, that's what it is. The problem is our ego. We want everyone to respect us. That's that's why we want these things. Ultimately, it's described that actually we want to be like Krishna. And he's being worshipped on the altar. I want to be respected like that. I want people to come to me. So that's also in our nature because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So that's the one thing we have. Our nature is to be servant. And that servant propensity is meant for Krishna. But what kind of service is it if I force you to do it? Is that nice service? Would the police come in with a gun and say, everybody raise your hand and surrender, right? But we're voluntarily surrendering, right? We have to put a gun to you, they surrender to Gauranitai. So that's what pleasure do you get from that? You may feel some power. Yes, I got power over these people. They're all surrendered. But it's not satisfying. So Krishna, we are all part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is the origin of everything. Everything is Krishna. We are Krishna. But Krishna is providing for everyone, and we are the dependent. Right? Krishna doesn't have to go to office to make money. Sun, the moon, everything. Just by his desire is happening. So he likes the voluntary love. Everybody likes that, isn't it? When someone comes to us as a friend or as, maybe you're searching for your spouse, sometimes you're a little suspicious, maybe, why are they coming to me? What did they want? I think maybe because of so many bad experiences. So, but then after a while, you see this person, despite my faults, they like me. That's nice, isn't it? It's difficult to find in this world. Someone that likes you despite all your faults. Because we all have faults. We may not see them because of our ego. but actually we have the nature of the world. So Krishna also, he created us in such a way that we voluntarily serve him. Therefore we have the choice not to serve him. It has to be there. Some people say like that, if the spiritual world is so wonderful, then why did we leave? Because we become also a little envious. You know, Krishna has so many friends, like we see in the picture here. I want to be everybody coming to me like that too. Why not? Why shouldn't they? So, but in the spiritual world, everyone loves Krishna. They're not thinking of anyone else. So, therefore, the material world has been created so that we can have some facility to be independent and to try to be like Krishna. So that has to be there. Otherwise, that's satisfied. Krishna says that this verse, we'll get to the verse now. I kind of went a little bit above. I put the verse up because I know there's so many, oops, that's the broadcast. There's so many people here, and we want to put some emphasis on this Bhagavad Gita. Not just Bhagavad Gita, but Bhagavad Gita by Prabhupada. Very powerful, this Gita, isn't it? You see the change that's occurred in this world. Bhagavad Gita has been around. This isn't first time Bhagavad Gita has been in the West. How many people looked at that documentary about the nuclear bomb? Was that guy's name Oppenheimer or something? Something like that. The person who made the nuclear bomb. He was a student of Bhagavad Gita. But he didn't have Vaishnava Gita. So in Bhagavad Gita, many things are there. He took more of the morality, the humanity out of it. Even when the bomb was exploded, he's quoting Bhagavad Gita. He's quoting Krishna from the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says, "Death I am, the destroyer of all things." Because he was a scientist, and he was being pushed to make this weapon. And scientists generally are tendencies to be in the mode of goodness, which means they're thinking of others. They don't want to destroy everybody. They don't want to make things that destroy people. They want to make things that make our life better. That's what they're thinking. Of course, they don't realize, they're not Krishna conscious, so all these things we have now, we think they make our lives better. Like, say, automobile. Does it make it any better, really? Oh, it's air conditioned, the seat is comfy. Sometimes it's better than a house, isn't it? How can you say it's not better? Well, what has it improved? Before they had cars, people would travel within 1 hour of where they lived. How did you go? Like in India still, you see people by village. They walk, they take the boat, bicycle. Now we still travel with an hour, maybe more, but how do we do it? In that car, risking our life, 80, 90 miles an hour. One little bit of inattention, what can happen? Big accident, so much headache. Maybe you're in the hospital, so many things, isn't it? How's that better? Air is polluted, you have so many taxes to make roads. Where do you park? It doesn't last very long, you have to fix it all the time. And when they had horses, that was very easy, wasn't it? I need a new car. I'm just getting like another horse, put 2 horses together. You don't need gas. Gas is everywhere, grass, isn't it? Just go get some. Very pleasant, isn't it? Quiet. Zoom, 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 zoom. No air pollution. Now people take vacation to go ride horses. They used to do it all the time. Krishna's arrangement was perfect. Haribo. So, but scientists are thinking, well, yeah, this will make life better. And to have a horse, what do you have to do? I mean, to have a car. You need some money. How much a new car costs nowadays? 25, 30,000? Plain car. You know, don't get into, well, you know, the neighbor's got the nice car. I need to have one as good as his. 50, 60, 70,000. Some people paying 400,000 for cars. So now you have to get the money, you have to do so many things. Before, people would just, you grow your food. No headache. So it didn't make things better. That was out of ignorance. So, but anyway, these things were all Krishna's plan, because actually they really benefited us. It benefited the spreading of Krishna consciousness. See, if there was no technology, how would Prabhupada come from America? He would swim across, or you know, try to sail across, printing books. 500 years ago, if you wanted to hear Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, how would you do it? Were there any books 500 years ago? Everything is written by hand. Bhagavatam would fill up this room probably. So you had to find someone who heard from his guru, and then he would tell you. That's how you got Bhagavatam. Now, printing press. The devotees go on the street. Hey, gotta give me $5, give a donation. Hey, get something, take one. This is Krishna's donation for spreading Krishna consciousness. And what does that mean? Because these relationships we have now, they're not satisfying us. They will never satisfy you fully. Unless they're in relation to Krishna. But people in the world don't know that, because they're born into ignorance, especially in the West. And in India, mostly Mayavadis. I mean, there's some cultures there, which is nice. But even if you're the most cultured person, that's still not satisfying, because the soul wants to be in relation to Krishna. Therefore you find, like, it's amazing, well, not so much now, but I remember going back into the 80s and 90s, and most of the Indian people were coming to America for the first time. And of course in the Atlanta area, you may not know the history of our temple, there wasn't any Hindu temple in Georgia. We were the only Hindu temple. So they had to come here. And then, you know, we're Hare Krishna, and all these white people are chanting, what the heck is going on? You know? Then they hear, oh, the Krishna is the Supreme Person of God. Why Krishna should be God, everybody God. Brahma Shiva, why Krishna? Slowly they get a taste. Never heard this, because the Mayavadis have taken over Bhagavad Gita pretty much. Now in India, you don't find as many Mayavadis as before. India was very hard in the early days of preaching. Attack you so much. Am I Veda? When he was in. They could quote scripture too. I can't quote as much scripture. You had to argue on scripture to defeat them. They're not accepting your logical argument. And quote this Prana, this Shastra, this, that. Defeat them. So now this personal philosophy is more prevalent. So Krishna, he wants us back more than we want to go back. And therefore, he's come to this material world. He doesn't have to, right? He's in the spiritual world enjoying like this again. Why don't we come down here for people who don't want him? Right? Your friend is mad at you. Do you go to their house? Someone has to make you go. No, come on, let's go talk. You have to make up that relationship. Don't take it serious. It's just an argument. Go, come on. No, I don't want to. No, come. That's the pure devotee. He's the same way. Come on, let me take you back to Krishna. I don't want to go. No, come. It's okay. It's like Prabhupada. But he comes because he loves us, even though we may be in a position that we don't want to love him. So that's how great his love is. So let's read, I'm going to read the Sanskrit here for you. How many people don't have Prabhupada's Gita? If you don't have, raise your hand. You don't have Gita. You have Prabhupada's Gita? You got Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, of course I read.
Oh, you got big these. I see. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyone who doesn't have it, you please get one. Prabhupada's Gita. Very. Even if you already have it, you get one and you give it to one person who doesn't have it. This is how it spreads. You have to be merciful. That's called mercy. To take the risk to get someone to take it. I retired in 2008. I used to work at AT&T. So, I was all carnies. But I was always thinking how to get them a Bhagavad Gita. So I remember the VP of our division, big office, big secretaries, everything. Sometimes I had to go up there. But he was a very friendly person. And he knew all about, because you have to go to these lunches and things, so after a while you're vegetarian. Why? I said, well, I'm just trying to, I didn't want to get into the whole thing because, you don't want to, sometimes they're Christians, they may not, they'd be offended that I'm Hare Krishna. But eventually it had to come out. They kept asking why. I said, because, we believe we shouldn't kill animals for food. It's compassion. But what made you think that? Well, I read this book here, Bhagavad Gita. It talks about these things, So by that time, they were bringing in the IT people, contractors, which is mostly Indian. So, they haven't had much association with people from India. So the VP and I would talk quite a bit. And I told him, I said, if you want to understand these people from India, you have to read this book, Bhagavad Gita. See, this is how you have to be able to trick you. You read this, and then you'll understand. Oh, really? Yeah. As a matter of fact, why don't you put it on your bookshelf back there? And when they come in your office, they'll see you have Bhagavad Gita. They're going to think about you in a different light. He said, oh, good idea. So he's got Bhagavad Gita on his bookshelf. Okay. And then for the Western people, they're arguing with me, oh, why are you following this and that? I said, well, such and such as Bhagavad Gita on his bookshelf. VP of this, yeah, he reads Bhagavad Gita too. Don't you go up to your seat? It's a little tricky. So even if they don't read it, they'll make spiritual enhancement probably. Because they don't have to read it. That book is non-different than Krishna. So you think like that. You just have to get the books out there so we can expand Krishna consciousness. So this verse I'm going to read is from the 9th chapter of the Gita. And we'll chant the Sanskrit together a little bit and read the translation. So you can repeat after me. Samoham Sarvabhuteshu Name Vishwastinam Priya Eva Janti Kimam Bhakya Maite Teshu Chapyaham Samoham Sarvabhuteshu Name Vishwastinam Priya Eva Janti Kimam Bhakya Maite Teshu Chapyaham Samoham Sarvabhuteshu Name Vishwastinam Priya Eva Janti Kimam Bhakya Maite Teshu Chapyaham. So Lord Krishna says, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion as a friend is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Who is partial to, you have 4 children, are you partial to one and treat the other ones differently? No, it's natural. So everyone's part and parcel of Krishna. Why would he, oh, this one I like, this one I don't like? So actually his nature is that he is full and complete. Therefore he doesn't need anything actually. But he's expanded into unlimited energies. We are the Jiva Tattva, this marginal potency of Krishna. And then he has his internal potency, which is the spiritual potency, which provides this scenario. And then we have his external energy, which we are struggling with now. The spiritual world, nobody's struggling, no smiling. Before it's called Vaikunta. Kunta means what? Misery, pain, right? Vai is free from that. So we're here in Mahakunta. Nothing but suffering. Just the opposite. But this Mahakunta can become Vaikunta easily, immediately, just by associating with Krishna's spirituality, like we're doing now. Does anybody feel misery sitting in this room? It's amazing, isn't it? Every day we're chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I've been chanting Hare Krishna 50 years, and it still feels fresh. That's a proof. So we're learning to have this relationship with Krishna. And when we say Krishna, means Krishna and his devotees too, not Krishna by himself. I only want Krishna, I don't want you, because you I don't like. So. No. So Prabhupada says in this purport, one may question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone, and no one is his special friend, then why does he take a special interest in devotees who always engage in his transcendental service? Right? Prabhupada said this is not discrimination, it is natural. In the early days when Prabhupada, he made the Krishna Balaram Temple in Vrindavan. How many people have been to Krishna Balaram Temple in Vrindavan? Okay, you won't have to go. Put that on your bucket list. So I can remember I went in 77. Vrindavan was a very simple village, all dirt roads, tulsi everywhere, even peacocks were everywhere. Now it looks like Delhi. A lot of people become so popular. But when he's building that temple, so one man challenged him, Swami, there's 5,000 temples in Vrindavan. Why are you building another temple? So Prabhupada replied to him, there's so many children on the street with no mother and father. Why are you having children? Because everybody wants their own children, isn't it? Well, I want my own temple. I know that, but everybody wants like that. That's natural. That's relationships, you see. So Krishna's like that. And it's a fact. Look at how many people are, so many atheists in this world. There's no God, Even though it's such a phenomenal world, isn't it? It's phenomenal. The sun is rising and setting every day on schedule. They have calendars. They can tell you in Atlanta, December 25th, 2023, exactly what time the sun's going to rise. Does it do it? Every time. Yet they say nobody's controlling it. Doesn't make any sense. Can they make the buses run like that? Anything. Airplanes laid, this laid, that, everything, and you can get a master's degree, a PhD in these science, how to supply chain. Still they can't do it. But sun and moon, no, they take no intelligence, that's just automatic. Why do they speak like that? Because their heart, they're envious. That's the nature of Hindu. Haribo. That's the nature of Hindu. Somebody makes very nice dokla. Oh, come on, I can make better than that. What do you mean so nice? That's not ordinary. You know, they're jealous. It's the nature of the material world. Haribo. So because of this enmity, they can't see. They don't want to see. That's why that word, Om Jnana Timiranja Sam. He's forcing our eyes open, knowledge. But if you're envious, you become angry. What do you mean? Why Krishna should be God? Why? There's no God. But still, Krishna provides for them, doesn't he? Imagine someone treats you bad, doesn't care for you. Do you still help them? You know, in your nature's like, I'm not going to help him. He treats me so bad. But Krishna is not like that. Still he provides. Heck, that seems like the atheists are the richest people on the planet. You think they will be the poorest. And then the devotees usually end up losing everything. Krishna takes everything from them. But that's another story. That's a special mercy. He doesn't want you to get distracted. So he wants, no, you want to love me? Okay, let me take all these things away. Now you have is me. No, wait. I'll use these things in your service. No, I don't think so. That's special mercy. But anyway, don't be afraid. Some people are like that. If I surrender to Krishna, he'll take everything away. So I'm not going to become Krishna Bhakta. The Prabhupada continues, any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed, yet he has a special interest in his own children. So the Lord claims that every living entity, in whatever form, is his son. And so he provides everyone with a generous supply of the necessities of life. He is just like a cloud which pours rain all over, regardless of whether it falls on rocks, or on land, or water. It's a fact. He doesn't neglect anyone. If anyone is suffering, it's because their own karma, really. Some people ask, if there's God, then why are people suffering? Why is it a child is born, and the child is born into so much suffering? How can there be God? How could a God let that happen? It's because of their karma in their previous life. Just like, you look at the city of Atlanta, it's neutral. Does the government say, okay, you're going to university and you go to prison? No, that's your choice. You're free to act any way you want. But you need to know how to act, because you get reactions to your actions, right? I come from India, we drive on this side of the road. Now I'm in America, I keep driving that way. Huh? I can do that? No. So you have to know, ignorance causes suffering. You can't blame that on the government. So you can't blame your suffering on Krishna. You decided. He doesn't want you to do, but you want to do anyway. Okay, what can I say? Sometimes children, I don't want to do what you're telling me, I don't care. And you can do so many things to make them do it. I'm not going to do it. Okay, go. Do you stop loving them? No, you wait. Hopefully they go, okay, I'm sorry. Please help me. Right. Now what he said, I told you, go away. I'm never going to help you again. No. So, Krishna is providing for everyone in this way. But he gives special attention to his devotees, which is natural. You may have many children, but one child is always more obedient, isn't it? So naturally you're going to favor them a little more. So I know my sister, my mother, passed away recently, so my sister and I talked quite a bit. I've been devoted a long time, so I've never had a chance to really talk to her because, well, she's not devoted like I am, so it's difficult sometimes to be with relatives who are not devotees, especially if they're, they're meat eaters. Don't come to my house, we're having Thanksgiving. You're like, okay, I'm coming. That's low, I'll go anyway, whatever, but they can see you're uncomfortable, right? So, anyway, we're discussing, she's telling me, Mother always favored you more than me. She was a little upset. Oh, wait, I can't believe it. You could get this, she would do that for you. And I was thinking about that, I never felt like that. And I started analyzing, yeah, because I never argued with her. You always demanded, you're going to give me this, and it's not fair. And so it was always more difficult for her to get things. Me, I would always, can I have a new bicycle? Okay, you do this, you do that, I'll give you one. Okay. So the devotees, they cooperate with Krishna, at least they're religiously. If you're religious, that's religion. You follow the rules. You may not love God, but at least you obey His rules. Life becomes very easy. If you're breaking all the rules, then why you get what you put into it. And then devotee, this is what Prabhupada and what Vaishnavism is about. It's not just rules and regulations. You don't care for rules and regulations. I want Krishna to be happy. So how does Krishna reciprocate with those feelings? He has to create situations where you can exhibit that. And therefore we have Goloka Vrindavan and their pastimes, which are practically irreligious. Isn't it? You see the pastime with Krishna and the gopis. That's irreligious. How can God do such a thing? But they're simply desires of satisfying Krishna, to the point that they will break religious principles to make Krishna happy. So in India, you find most people like Ramchandra, he's very dutiful, isn't it? Somebody suspects Sita is not chaste. Banish Sita out. Krishna never banished the gopis. So this is that's a little more difficult to understand sometimes. So therefore, the beginning of devotional service, of love of God, it is awe and reverence. That everyone can understand. God is great, I am small, I am dependent on Him. Minimum, we should think like that. Let me thank Him. Right? You could have been born in China, in the rice village somewhere suffering. But most of us here, we got very nice birth. Otherwise, why could you be sitting in this room now? So how was that arranged? It's Krishna. So minimum, we can thank Him for bringing us into this association. And then as we advance, and by following these rules and regulations, dutifully, you begin to want to do more than just be dutiful. It also goes into Raga Nuga Bhakti and all these other things that are there. So, Lord Krishna, He's come 5,000 years ago. That's not very far. We're very fortunate. And He's coming at the end of Dwapara Yuga. He's come and He's displaying all these pastimes. Because in Kali Yuga, we're not really philosophers. But by associating with Krishna, by hearing about Krishna's activities, especially in association with devotees, your love for Krishna will awaken. So, therefore we have all these festivals. deity Krishna is coming in the form of the Archa Vigraha. So, because love means what? You have to act. I said, I love you, but I never do anything for you. So, can you do something? No, do something. And it's said in such a way that it's voluntary. Voluntary. Deities, you never heard the deities tell you, hey, can you cook some burfi for me? You know, I haven't had burfi in a long time. Can someone, whatever you bring to him, he says, okay, he takes it. So we make our purpose, even though we have so many duties. We have our families, we have our relatives, we have so many things we have to do. You do those things, but you begin adding Krishna into that also. As much as you can. You should think like that. We are here in Atlanta, and the presiding deities of Atlanta are Radha Mohan, Jagannath Baladev, Shri Shri Gauri Dai. They mercifully have manifested in this way for us. So that we can come and give them some service, some loving service. In any way, those who get fortunate, you become Brahmin, you can go on the altar like we have Chitra. He's been doing this Sunday feast seva for almost 20 years. Every time we come Sunday feast, we use the offering art. If you ask me, can I do Artik Rugunala, but with my service, I'm not about to make become attached. Maybe in the beginning it was, I have to do it so I can get purified. I can do some seva. Then after a while, I was like, who cares? This is nice. I remember one devotee of mine was discussing, he goes, who cares if Krishna's God? Krishna consciousness is so nice, isn't it? Where else do you get such nice meals to eat? Beautiful kirtan all the time. Such variety of people to associate with. You can go anywhere in the world and you have this. Nice. So we should develop this relationship with Krishna. That's what we're doing. It's not just about I want to be happy. In the beginning it's like that, that's okay, but really in the end, instead of listening to Siki Mahiti, we could be listening to Krishna. Who would like that? Say Hari Bol. So then we have to begin to serve. You have to attract Krishna. It begins, he's in this form now. We come and you see every day how nice the devotees are dressing him. So we have to make it even more. Individually, you can think like that. How to? Okay, we need maybe a better building. Okay, I'll give $1 million to make a better building. For those who can do that. Or let me bring more people. I come from Mayapur, you know, in Mangalore, it's like 5,000 people. New people every day. And so I've been away for almost 2 years. And I came back to Atlanta, I was like, whoa, small crowd. You know? So we should be bringing everybody from Atlanta should be coming, trying to get in here. When Prabhupada visited in 1975, you couldn't get in this room. People had to look in the windows. So it should be like that. Then we'll have to have 10 temples, 20 temples. So think like that. This is Krishna consciousness. Let us expand Krishna's glories. This will make Krishna happy. He's lamenting that all the divinities have fallen in this material world and are rotting down here. So let's relieve him of this stress. It doesn't take very much to do that. Sacrifice, we are all going to make. You have no choice, because that's how the world is designed. You have to sacrifice. Prabhupada gives a story of during World War II, he was in Calcutta when the bombs were falling. And he was saying how the Indian government, of course, was under the British rule. So they needed more bombs. But the money was running out. So where are they going to get money? They took it from all the rich people. Prabhupada, he was doing a fire jug in Calcutta. So he said, they took that money and made bombs. Swaha, gone, boom. So he said, you do this swaha, or you do that swaha. But you have to do swaha. You can't avoid it. So better voluntarily give it to Krishna. Don't let Maya take it from you. Even death is going to take it all away. Okay? And when you die, you have family. Who remembers their family in their previous life? Anybody? No. So this life, why we're having so much worry? When you die, you're not going to remember any of it. Unless you go back to God and you remember everything. Oh, I can't believe I did all that in the material world. You remember everything. So let's take advantage of this opportunity. We have our festivals are coming up. Let's come and we'll learn these relationships with devotees. There's a way to learn how to be like this, like Vaikuntha. And we all work together to please Radha Madam Mohan. And you'll see, especially those who haven't done it before, you participate more hands-on, it becomes addictive, you know. We have another devotee, Sunil, what's his initiated name? Yeah, but anyway, he's in the kitchen. You never see him. Every Sunday feast, he's in the kitchen, watching tots. Another one, 20 years, watching tots, him and his brother. Maybe you see him when he goes take prasadam. Become addicted to it, you can't stop. So the best relationship is to have with Krishna and to develop it. We have to learn this. This is what spiritual means. Material means about I. Spiritual means about Krishna and his devotees too. And Krishna's not by himself. So don't try to separate Krishna from the devotees. I only want Krishna, I don't want the other people. Maybe the gopis and Kaur boys, but not you people. No. You have to learn that art to deal with all of us. We're all different individuals. And there's an art term to that. So this is what we're practicing. So we will stop here. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay, Veda. Thank you very much for listening. Hare Krishna.